The September Market Watch report just came out. Sales were up. Prices are still trending down. Why is that? Today's episode is going to be data intensive. We are going to compare sales activities, inventory levels, and pricing over the last 3 years. Then we will break it down. Detached versus condos. City of Toronto versus York region. It is going to be very interesting and insightful. So make sure you stay till the very end. Let's start with sales activity in 2023. The first half of the year was quite strong. Then there were 2 rate hikes, June and July, pushing the overnight rate to 5%. And that really stalled the momentum. 2024 was slightly slower than 2023, but we pretty much saw the same seasonal pattern. Now 2025, the first 5 months were really sluggish. Sales were down roughly 20 to 30% compared to last year. Then in June, we suddenly caught up to last year's level. And by September, we are running ahead of both 2024 and 2023. So in terms of sales activities, we are seeing some very good signs. Let's talk inventory, the number of active listings on the market. In 2023, active listings stayed well below 20,000. In 2024, listing piled up to over 25,000. Confidence wobbled. Sellers looked to cash out. Then 2025 hit even harder. By March, inventory was almost double 2024's level. That was alarming. But we saw significant improvements in Q3. By September, our inventory level was only 15% above last year. So we are definitely on the right track. And with the September rate cut, the overnight rate is now 2.5%, half of 2023's 5%. That should give buyers more breathing room and help the market digest more inventory. Now let's dive deeper. Detached home in the city of Toronto. In the overall trend, we saw the sales activities were 20 to 30% lower this year compared to last year. For detached homes in Toronto, sales mostly stayed within 10% of 2024 and began outperforming in June. September finished with 13% more sales than last year. Demand was good. What about supply? Inventory is still heavy. September had 22% more active listings compared to last year. What about prices? The 3 colored bars are almost level throughout. Detached price in Toronto have been surprisingly resilient, only about 5% below 2023. Let's take a look at detached home in York region. Demand was softer than in the city of Toronto. The first 5 months of 2025 were very sluggish, but things also picked up in June and September outperformed the previous 2 years. Inventory, no surprise, still elevated. Prices, less resilient than the city of Toronto. As of September, they were roughly 12% below 2023. During COVID, people were rushing out to the York region for bigger homes. But this market downturn shows that detached homes in the city of Toronto are holding value better than those in York region. Let's move to condos in the city of Toronto, the hardest hit segment in this downturn. The first half of 2025 was very sluggish, but momentum improved and September was better. Now the most interesting chart, inventory. In the first 5 months of 2025, it was scary. April and May, we saw 1.3 times the inventory we had in 2023. We saw a wave of investor sell-off. As rates started to come down, more investors began thinking long-term. And like I said in the last episode, the rental market has been strong. So investors were like, forget about the selling at rock bottom prices. I'll rent it out instead. That pivot helped stop inventory piling up. It gave the market room to breathe. By September, condo inventory was actually 2% less than last year, but still 32% above 2023. For context, Toronto detached was still 22% more than last year. and 56% higher than 2023. Of course, we are not out of the woods yet, but when the market starts to recover, it is easier for the entry-level products to pick up. After all, the entry-level prices is less than $500,000 for condos, while that for detached is over $1 million. Let's look at the condo prices in the last 3 years. The slide has mostly stabilized, but we are still roughly 10% below 2023. What about condos in the York region? Sales also picked up in the last 3 months. Inventory absorption is improving, but not as good as in the city of Toronto. Inventory sits around 9% more than last year and nearly 60% above 2023. Prices remain under pressure, roughly 14% down from 2023. In a downturn, location matters. Downtown Toronto still has the stronger pull, and the back-to-office mandate should boost demand for downtown condos and help their recovery. So what should you do now? If you are a buyer, you still have plenty of choices. This is your window to negotiate and pick up a good deal. If you are a seller, expect competition, price to the market, prep properly, and be prepared to move when a real offer shows. This isn't the moment to chase yesterday's price. If you are an investor and you are able to sustain the cash flow, renting definitely beats selling at this point. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode.